If you place a dry bean seed and a smooth stone side by side in wet soil, something specific happens. Over a few days, the seed splits open and pushes a green shoot up through the dirt. The stone sits completely still. What exactly makes the seed alive while the stone is not? The answer is biology. The word comes from two Greek roots, bios, meaning life, and logos, meaning to study or gain knowledge. Simply put, biology is the scientific study of life. Because life on Earth is so diverse, this study is broken into specialized branches. Zoology, for example, focuses strictly on understanding animals, like the behavior of the mountain gorillas in Windy. Other branches look at life on a microscopic level. This view of red blood cells shows the parasites that cause malaria. By studying these organisms, scientists can develop effective treatments. We study biology to understand how our bodies work, how to grow better crops like maize and matoke, and how to protect local ecosystems like these wetlands around Lake Victoria. To determine if something is truly alive, scientists use a specific checklist of 7 life processes. You can remember them using the memory tool MR-Niger. Let's trace these processes in a local Ugandan goat. The M stands for movement. The goat changes its position to walk toward a resource. That leads to N for nutrition. As an animal, the goat must consume other living things like grass to fuel its body. Once it eats, the goat requires the first R, respiration. While often confused with breathing, respiration actually happens inside the cells. It is the chemical process of breaking down food to release the energy needed to stay alive. Next is I for irritability. When a noise occurs, the goat detects and responds to the change in its environment. Then we have G for growth. As the goat uses energy, it permanently increases in size from a kid to an adult. The E stands for excretion. This is not the same as passing solid waste. Excretion refers specifically to removing toxic chemical waste produced inside the cells, such as sweat or carbon dioxide. Finally, the last R is reproduction. The goat must be able to produce new individuals of its own kind to ensure the species survives. When an entity performs these 7 specific actions, it meets the biological criteria for animal life. But does this same checklist apply to a plant? Looking at this bunch of matoke, it appears to fail the tests for movement and irritability. Plants are alive, but they manifest these processes differently. Consider nutrition. While a goat eats ready-made food, a matoke plant manufactures its own food internally using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Plants also move and respond to their environment, though they do so slowly. The leaves tilt to track the sun, and the roots grow toward underground water sources. Their growth patterns are also distinct. While animals stop growing at maturity, plants grow throughout their entire lives, mostly at the very tips of their shoots and roots. Although physical execution varies, the biological requirements for a plant's survival are identical to an animal's. Let's test the framework on an edge case. This boda moves, consumes fuel for nutrition, responds to a throttle, and releases exhaust. Is the motorcycle alive? Pause the video and apply the MR-Niger checklist to find out. The boda is not alive. It cannot perform cellular respiration, it does not grow, and it cannot reproduce on its own. In biology, a partial match is not enough. An entity must show all 7 characteristics simultaneously to be classified as life. This summary framework shows how these 7 processes appear in life forms, from a crested crane to maize. Understanding MR-Niger is the first step toward understanding the entire Ugandan ecosystem. These processes allow every living thing to breathe, grow, and survive.